G'day, it's Donna from Australia, and today I'm testing the iCraft 2.0 cutting machine. I'm going to test it on fabric and on faux leather, and you are going to be amazed at the results. My test is going to have a variety of different shapes in both the fabric and on the faux leather. And I also really put it to the test by cutting out these tiny little holes. I'll start by using the fabric. It's always best to iron on some adhesive interfacing before you start cutting. And I'm going to use a genuine fabric grip mat, and with the wrong side facing down, press it really well onto the mat. These are my cut settings. I'm using the fine point blade. I'm having a force of 10, my speed will be 3, and my passes will be 2. I always like cutting slower rather than flat out. The best thing you can do is always cut out a test. I'm cutting out a square, a circle, and a triangle, and it just so happens that the settings are cutting perfectly. So I don't need to make any changes. I can now go ahead and cut whatever it is I want to make out of this piece of fabric. Just say I was making a boxy little zipper pouch. So I'm going to test these 3 shapes. The first shape is just a square with rounded corners. This would be a typical cut if you were making a little pouch. My speed is set to 3. And I've left it in real time just so you can see that my machine is under no pressure. It is just gliding around this fabric easily. Now this one here is going to cut the notches that I would line up to the gusset. So it's just a little slit on all 4 sides. And this one here, I'm cutting out 3 little circles, a 2mm, a 3mm, and a 4mm. And you would use this if you're going to fix a rivet or a clip. Now the first cut off the mat is the square with the rounded corners. It has cut out absolutely perfectly. The little slits that I used to line up to the gusset, they're also cut perfectly. Now here are the tiny little holes. This is the 4mm hole, and the tiny little 2mm hole didn't quite cut out perfectly on the top, but when you peel it up and look at the back, it has cut through and is okay to use. So this is 2mm, 3 and 4mm. Now that was a successful cut, so I've saved my settings in my materials. Now I'm going to try the faux leather. And I will admit, I was a bit nervous when I first put this to the test. Because my vinyl is a little thicker, I've changed to the deep point blade. When you're testing something you're not used to, be prepared to do more than one test. This is my first test of 3. My settings are, as I said, the deep point blade. My force I've put at 10. My speed I put 2, and passes I've also made 2. I didn't hop straight into my project. I'm testing with a little square, a circle and a rectangle just to see how these cuttings go. Right, it cut out perfectly. The only thing I didn't like about these particular settings was it cut deep into my mat. Just look at the top 3 shapes and you'll see how dark they are and that they show up on the back of the mat. That is too deep for my likings. So I need to back off the force so it doesn't cut as deep. Test 2. I'm still using the deep point blade. Force 8, speed 2, passes 2. And I start cutting. Oh gosh, look what happened. I couldn't believe it. I thought, no way. It should have been cutting easier because I backed off the force. Now I don't think I stuck it on the mat as good as I did the first time. Maybe, I'm not 100% sure, but it really made a mess of these shapes because it moved around. A bit of painter's tape would have worked well for this one. Now I'm going to do test cut 3 and I get it right this time. I'm changing over to my fine point blade, and this is so I don't cut right through my mat. My settings are fine point blade, force 10, speed 2, passes 3. This time I'm cutting out my square with rounded corners and the notches again. You'll notice I'm passing my fingers over the top of the vinyl, and this is just so it doesn't move. Whatever you do, do not press heavy that you're interfering with the movement of the mat. Now it's cutting the little notches on the side, and this is in real time, by the way. I have not sped this up so you can see how easily it is cutting. So I've ejected the mat and look how easy the backing peeled away and the little shape itself. And you can see a fine line on my mat, not a deep line. The notches cut perfectly. So I'm really happy with this test. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut some little holes. This is the 4mm hole and the 3mm hole. And you would use it to put in snaps or rivets or any attachments that you need to add to your little purse. I've got to say, I absolutely love my LOKLiK iCraft. And if you decide to get one, you're going to love it too. I've popped the link in the description box below so you can easily find where to get yours.